Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a yoga flow focused on self-love and self-acceptance, something that I know a lot of us could use some practice embodying more. And it's perfect time for the holiday coming up with St. Valentine's Day, but you could do this at any time. You will also notice that I have a new mic, so hopefully the audio is good. I'm not 100% on this mic yet, but I think it'll be good to get the cues in real time. So go ahead and join me on the floor if you haven't already. In seated position, an easy pose. Check your spine. Make sure our spine is elongated all the way from our root, going all the way up through the crown of our head. You can close your eyes if you have not already. Put your palms just grounded on your knees. I'm going to do some grounding before we begin our practice. Starting with some nice deep inhales and exhales. Your breath does not have to match mine, but make sure you're fully inhaling and fully exhaling. With each breath, we're grounding ourselves more in the present moment. Starting to connect with our body, our intuition. And on the next breath, let's bring our hand to our heart and just focus on that space. We're going to start to open that space and radiate the love that naturally comes from our heart space throughout this practice. Now go ahead and bring your hands back to your knees. Open your eyes if you'd like, and we're just going to start with some nice, easy neck rolls all the way around. Either side, it doesn't matter which side you start on, but just take your time easing all the way around, releasing that tension in your neck. Still focusing on our breath. And let's go ahead and go the other way. Really taking our time with this, not rushing. Start to contemplate how you can connect with your body and your spirit and your mind. And just show some gratitude and love for your body and all that it does for you. Go ahead and bring it back to center, and let's do some light shoulder rolls back. Still breathing, allowing yourselves to be in this moment and be in this practice. A lot of times people ask me, Lindsay, is it okay to have thoughts come up? Totally, but just come back to the breath. Come back to the sensations you feel in your body. All right, go ahead and switch directions. Roll your shoulders forward. Still breathing. When you feel intrusive thoughts coming up, just exhale them away and come back to the sensations in the body. Back to center, and then let's go ahead and take a big inhale in, reaching up towards the sky, our hands in our gaze, exhaling down. One more time. Inhale, reaching back up, looking towards our hands, exhaling down. This time we're going to stay up. Inhale, reaching and looking upwards. Bring your hands together in prayer pose, and let's go ahead and lean it over to the right side. So you are mirroring my movement, feeling that sensation, that stretch in your side body. Inhale to center, exhale. Allowing ourselves to be in our body. A lot of times we want to escape our body. Inhale to center, exhale, twisting to the side. Keeping your spine nice and long, but still twisting. Twists are great for releasing anything you do not need in this moment. Big inhale, exhale. Inhale back to center, and let's twist to the other side. Again, our chest and our spine is still nice and long. Any of those negative self-talk thoughts that are pervasive, just releasing those and breathing those out in this twist. Inhale back to center, and then release down. Now go ahead and meet me in tabletop position. Take your time getting there, but your shoulders are going to be over your wrist, your hips over your knees. Go ahead and find a comfortable spot in this position. I'm even going to shake out my hips. You may hear my hips pop as I'm just kind of shaking it out in this position. Let's go ahead and do some cat-cow. So we're really grounding ourselves, pushing our palms and knees into the ground, inhaling, starting at the tailbone, lifting our tailbone into the sky, arching the back, lifting our chest and rib cage towards the ceiling. And then exhale, tucking our tailbone in, rounding the back, bringing our chin to the chest. It's almost like a wave through your body. Inhale, starting with the tailbone, lifting it up, arching the back, bringing the chest and the gaze up. Exhale, tucking the tailbone in, rounding the back, chin to the chest. Beautiful. A few more times at your own pace. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale. And exhale. Bring it back to tabletop. Let's go ahead and extend our right leg back and our left arm forward. Our foot is still in a flex position, but we're going to reach as far as we can in both directions, really extending your arm and your leg. Let's go ahead and exhale, bring our knee and our elbow together. Inhale, reaching back out. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, and inhale, reach out as far as you can. Exhale, bringing them together. Exhale, reaching out. Now for this next pose, make sure you are really pushing your palms and your knees into the ground. We're going to grab our back foot, if we can, with our left arm, pushing our foot into our hand, breathing into the sensation, finding some balance, showing some love and appreciation for where we're at in this moment. If we can't get into this pose, that's okay. Stay in that extended position, but just showing some love and gratitude for yourself, even just for showing up today. All right, inhale, reach it back out, and then release down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and inhale, reaching out as far as we can, opposite leg, opposite arm. Foot is still flexed, reaching as far as we can. Exhale, bringing our elbow and our knee together. Inhale, reaching back out as far as we can. Exhale, bringing them together. One more time. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, bringing them together. Now we're going to reach back out and do the same thing again. I'm reaching my hand back with my thumb up, holding onto the bottom of my foot, pushing my foot back as far as I can, breathing into the sensation. Feeling that chest start to open, those heart feelings of love, connection, and gratitude starting to radiate out. Exhaling any negative thoughts away and paying attention to the sensations we feel in our body. Right, inhale, reach it back out. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and just like wiggle out our hips a little bit. You can swing them side to side. I'm going to bring my toes together and my knees wide. Bring the palms to the top of my mat. And slowly lean it back into child's pose. Nice inhales and exhales here. Let's stay here for a few moments. You can wiggle back and forth if you need to. And really allow ourselves to be. Connect with that heart space, that natural love that our intuition, our internal guidance is always sending us. Just a matter of removing all the blocks that allow us to receive that self-love, that self-acceptance. Nice inhales and exhales in this child's pose, feeling the sensation in your hips, in your shoulders, and your lower back. Extending and elongating your spine as long as you can. All right, on the next breath, we're going to bring it back up into tabletop. Bring our palms a little bit closer, bring our knees together, and then just drop our hips into a light upward facing dog. If you need to stay a little bit lower, just tune into your body and what it needs. But our shoulders are still back, our chest is high, our gaze is up. Stretching out that abdomen. All right, go ahead and tuck your feet under, pushing up into plank. And then meet me in downward facing dog. So you may need to walk your feet in a little bit, pushing your palms into your mat. I'm going to walk the dog, just alternating, bending my knees. I'm really focusing on keeping my back and my spine straight, but allowing my knees to bend in downward facing dog. And we're going to inhale and bring that right foot up, leg up as high as we can into three-legged dog. I'm going to bring it back towards the other side of my mat into scorpion, stretching out that hip, doing a few ankle circles. Then I'm going to sweep my foot through my hands into a low lunge. Just going to go back and forth in this motion for just a moment, stretching out that hip. And then we're going to gently release the back knee down and then come into a high lunge. So you can have your hands at your knees for right now. And as we find that mobility, kind of gently rocking back and forth in this lunge. And we're going to inhale our arms up, biceps by the ear, shoulders are still down, chest is still nice and high. Still elongating from the root all the way through the crown of our head. And then on the next inhale, we're going to lean back and put our hands in cactus pose. This can be a little bit of a balance here, still leaning into that hip stretch, opening that heart space, just receiving that love from the universe, from source, from God, whatever you connect to in this moment. Allowing yourself to feel that love. Beautiful. Now bring your hands behind you. Let's do a quick bind. Again, opening that heart space. And then we're going to even lean it forward into a humble warrior. So bringing your chest down, our arms are extending behind us. Feeling that sensation in your back and your shoulders. Now lean it back up. Bring your arms up for just a moment. Do one more quick hip stretch. And then let's put our hands down. Tuck our back foot back in, into low lunge. And then bring both feet back and meet me in downward facing dog. Let's rest here for just a moment. I know it may not seem like it, but downward facing dog is technically a resting posture. Pushing our palms into the mat, walking the dog, stretching out our hamstrings, doing whatever is needed in this moment. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach that left foot up as high as you can. Three-legged dog. Bring it towards the other side of your mat if that feels comfortable to you. Into scorpion, rounding out that ankle. And then sweeping that foot through. If you need to assist it up, you can. Your foot is in between your two hands. We're just going to rock back and forth in this runner's lunge. And then slowly lower that back knee. And meet me in high lunge. Deep breath here. Again, kind of rocking into that hip stretch. Next inhale. Biceps by your ear, shoulders are still down. Spine is nice and long all the way through the crown. Inhale, bring those arms back in a cactus pose. Gaze towards the sky, opening our chest and our heart region, receiving the self-love and acceptance. Just breathing into that heart space. Again, this may be a balancing pose. That's okay. Meet yourself where you are. Love yourself where you're at in this moment. Go ahead and lower those hands into a bind behind your back. Still in this lunge. Still moving if we need to a little bit within this lunge. And then lean forward into humble warrior. Raising my hands up behind me as high as I can, feeling that sensation in my shoulders. And then go ahead and release down. Bring that foot back into plank for just a moment. And then meet me in downward facing dog for one more quick stretch. We're then going to lower onto tabletop. And this is going to lead us into our peak pose. So from tabletop, we're going to go ahead and raise onto our knees. You can walk yourself forward if you need to. Give yourself plenty of space. We're going to do a quick camel pose. So go ahead and inhale, reaching up towards the sky. And then we're going to exhale and slowly bring down one hand at a time to our heels. Finding that balance. Opening our chest, allowing our head to just hang in between our shoulders. Pushing our chest and our abs towards the sky. A few deep breaths in this beautiful heart opener. We are in full receptive mode of that self-love and self-acceptance. Allow yourself to receive. Now to get out of this pose, you have some options. You can simply just kind of bring your hips back down, or you can slowly release each hand back up into a kneeling pose and then bring your arms down into prayer pose. Now go ahead and meet me in seated position on your back, lying on your mat. We're going to have our palms and our feet flat on the mat. And then let's go ahead and push it up into just one quick bridge, pushing our hips back and forth a little bit. I like to sway back and forth in this pose. Doing one quick bind with our hands, pushing our hips up as high as we can, and then lowering our hips. Now go ahead and bring both knees to your chest and give yourself a big, beautiful hug right now. Tuning into that heart space that is now fully open and just showing yourself some true, deep love. Big hug. Knees to your chest, feeling that extension through your lower back. And then release your feet back down. Let's go ahead and do a few more twists. So I'm going to put my hands in cactus pose and then slowly lower my knees to the left, bringing my gaze to the right. So your knees and your gaze are opposite ways. Big inhales, exhales, releasing anything else we need to in this practice. Big part of self-love is keeping those promises to yourself and honoring the things that you're feeling a nudge to do. So just quietly contemplate how you can show yourself self-love in that way. Let's go ahead and take it to the other side. So switch your knees to the other side in your gaze. Hands still in cactus pose, feeling that stretch and twist. One more deep inhale and exhale through our heart. And bring it back to center. We're going to release our legs out straight and our hands down next to us into Savasana as we round out our practice. Using this time to really focus on our breath. Coming back to our breath whenever our thoughts want to invade. Tuning into that heart space, allowing the feelings of love and connection and gratitude to radiate out of our heart and fill up our entire body, every single cell. Showing appreciation and gratitude for all the things our body does for us throughout the day, consciously and unconsciously. And also considering any areas that we can show ourselves a little bit more self-love and self-acceptance. Few more deep breaths in this time and space. Now, if you'd like, you can stay in Savasana for a few more moments. Or if you feel complete, go ahead and join me in seated position in the center of your mat. Like I said in the practice, really acknowledge and consider some areas that you can show yourself a little bit more self-love, self-acceptance, because there's only one you, and you are here for a reason. You exist for a reason, and you are beautiful and divine. So much gratitude and love towards every single one of you. Thank you for joining me in today's practice. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer position. I'll see you in the next yoga flow. Namaste.